If you're like most of the aspiring authors that come to me for help getting published, you're probably worried about three main things: that you can't find the time, that your platform's too small, or that you can't get a book deal without an MFA or without years of professional writing experience. The good news is that, as amazing and helpful as all three of those things would be, they are definitely not what you need. The challenge is that there are three things you do need, and they might not even be on your radar. Before I talk about what you do and don't need to be successful with a nonfiction book, I want to get one thing out of the way. This is not going to be one of those videos where I try to convince you that you need to write a book or claim that you can whip out a book in a week. That is not a book. If you think it's going to be fast and easy or that it's going to help you get rich quick, you are absolutely wrong. On the other hand, if you think writing a book and getting it published is impossible, luckily you're also dead wrong. First-time authors do get book deals every single day. Just check Publishers Marketplace. And in fact, the vast majority of my clients were first-time authors. They've been published by big New York publishers, small but prestigious literary presses. They've won awards, become Amazon #1 bestsellers, and they've been featured in places like the LA Times and Harper's, McSweeney's, The Atlantic, and a whole bunch of other places. And very few of them had wide open schedules or big platforms or MFAs, and not one of them had all three of those. I'm not even sure anyone had two of those. But they did all have three things in common. So I'm going to tell you those three things because to be successful, you're going to need them too. And then if you have those key ingredients, keep watching because I'll give you my absolute best tips on how to make your book a reality, even if you're short on time, have a small platform, or don't have a ton of publications to your name. So I'm also going to be hosting a much more in-depth free private training on getting a nonfiction book deal soon, but you're going to have to register for that. So check the description below for the link. So the three things that you need: a story or a message that you're passionate about sharing. You cannot put in a half-hearted effort and write a book because you should or because you think it's time, because without your heart and your effort, it won't be good enough to stand out in the market and get a publisher interested, let alone get readers interested. Readers, especially for nonfiction, they're only going to invest their time reading great books. If you're truly passionate about your book and what it can bring to readers, then you are already one step ahead because that is not the part that I can teach. So the second thing you're going to need is to be dedicated to pulling together a really tight, compelling book proposal. The great thing about nonfiction is that you can sell a book, get an agent, get a book deal with just a proposal before you've actually written the book. But you've got to be able to show them why your book stands out in the market, what makes it special, fresh, unique, why readers are getting excited. The good news about that, that's something I can teach. Then the third thing you're going to need is a willingness to promote your book based on your strength, no matter where your platform is right now. Platform absolutely does matter for nonfiction. But the good news, it doesn't have to be all social media. There is no one-size-fits-all way to build authority or to get word out. So in a minute, I'm going to talk more about what to do if you don't have a big platform yet. And again, very few of my successful clients had a platform when they got agents or book deals. So do you have all three of those things? If you do, you are my kind of author. Not everybody is. I am dead serious that I turn away far more clients than I take on. Too many people have been lied to and been convinced that they can whip out a quick little book and either get a publisher or make a whole bunch of money self-publishing. It just doesn't work like that. And those aren't the kind of authors I get excited about. But if you're dedicated and you only want to write a book if it means something, not just so you can call yourself an author, we are on the same page. So here is what to do if you don't have enough time. I can so relate to this, especially having kids, especially since COVID. My first tip is kind of basic, but it can still be hard to do. Schedule your writing first. No matter how small or wacky your time constraints are. Maybe you write before dawn while your kids are still asleep. Hello, that's me. Maybe you do 15 minutes every day on your lunch break at work, or maybe you can take a long weekend every month and just binge write the whole time. Whatever way you can schedule your writing, put it in your actual calendar, block that out, and then schedule the rest of your obligations around your writing time, because what you schedule is what you end up doing. My second tip is to try to harness some of your hidden time. Maybe you can dictate on your commute. If you carry a notebook around or any kind of little piece of paper, you can write while you're waiting for the doctor, while you're in line at the post office, maybe while you're on a Zoom meeting, and you can turn your camera off. And the reason that it's important to capture those little ideas is going to feed right into my third tip, which is create a daily book habit. Now, I did not say a daily writing practice. A lot of people are going to try to tell you you have to write every day. Hey, if you can do that, that's fabulous. I don't think I know a single writer that writes every day, not even best-selling authors that I know. But I want you to be involved with your book every day. That can be something simple like talking to somebody about your book, or watching a movie, or reading a book that's on the same topic that might inspire you, listening to music that brings up the same emotions that you're trying to convey in your book. The reason you want to do all of that is because then, if you're doing this every day consistently, this is what your unconscious mind is going to be working on while you're sleeping, while you're driving, while you're showering, or mowing the lawn. If you don't think about your book, work on your book that regularly, your unconscious is going to go to work on something else, probably picking fights on Facebook, what you should have said to that person with different politics, or whatever annoying thing it is that your brain can take up space with. Okay, so you're worried that you have too small of a platform. Again, this is okay, especially for now. Do not let it stop you from writing your book or your book proposal. I'm not even going to get into the value of just writing for yourself. Today, we're going to stick to talking about getting your book published. But working on your book can help you develop your authority in your platform even before it's published, because as you write and test and refine your ideas and get that concept clear, you're going to develop your story and your message in ways that will help you connect with your audience and with other people. Then it's going to be easier to build your platform at the same time you're finishing your book, while you're waiting on edits or while you're waiting on cover design. And here's the thing, if you have been rejected by a publisher, they loved your book, but they rejected it only because of a small platform, as much as that burns and as frustrating as that is, that's actually a pretty sweet spot to be in, because it means your concept, your message, your story are actually spot on. And that's the hardest part. It is really difficult to have something worth saying, but the platform, that's something you can build. That's something that other people can help you with. And here are some non-social media ways to build your platform. This all goes for traditional or self-publishing, because you're going to need to get word out either way. You could focus on building your professional network. This can be one of the biggest and best ways to demonstrate your authority and your ability to sell books, especially if your target audience shares your profession or an interest in the topic that you're writing on. You can write essays, because believe it or not, big name publications take essays from brand new writers all the time. It's something I teach about separately, but it'll be a great way to build your writing chops and also your authority. You can be an expert source for journalists. You could speak at conferences or guests on podcasts or blog. But here's the thing, do not do all of those things. I kind of didn't even want to mention a bunch of options, because people start to worry they have to do everything, and then you spread yourself too thin and nothing is effective. So don't burn yourself out trying to do everything. It's going to be a lot more powerful to focus on one thing that you're good at. So what are you good at? Like, how do you like connecting with friends or colleagues or students or clients? That is probably going to be your secret. So double down on that, and you're going to be well on your way to a platform. So you don't have an MFA or a publication history. This is like platform. These are things that can really, really help, but they're not necessary. If you have a story that only you can tell, if you have unique expertise or authority, you've got a fresh and unique take on your topic or theme, you've got what you need. And I don't say this as an MFA hater. Mine was one of the best things I ever invested in, but again, it's not necessary. So you have two options if your writing's not quite there yet. So if you have some writing experience, whether it's a blog or a podcast or public speaking, you're already ahead of the game. So my suggestion here is to try to take your writing to the next level. Do that by taking a writing class, hiring an editor, working with a coach. You'll be amazed at how quickly your skills can develop with that kind of mentorship. My coaching clients, it's amazing to see them get better every single month. We improve their weaknesses, draw out their strengths, and before they know it, they've kind of internalized all that, and even their earlier drafts are starting to come out much more efficiently with less effort and at a much higher level. But option two, Like maybe you know you've got a great story or you've got a great message, but you just really do not think there's any way that you're going to be able to bring your writing up to the level you would need for publication. That's okay. That's where ghostwriters come in. That's something that can help you with time constraints as well. They'll interview you, they'll get your message, help you shape that into a book, and help actually write the book. Publishers buy books all the time from experts and from people with great stories where the actual writing of the book is done by a ghostwriter. Okay, so where are you after all of that? Are you passionate about writing your book rather than just doing it because you should? Are you ready to shape your idea into a tight, compelling book proposal? And do you believe there's a way that you can go ahead, as much as you might hate the idea of platform, that you can use your strengths to get word out in a way that works for you? Because if so, you are totally ready and you are miles ahead of the competition. If you're not sure about all of those things, but you do have number one, that passion I'm talking about, the rest is something you can develop, and it's something that I can help you develop. I'm going to be hosting that free private training that I talked about before very soon. That's going to go way more in depth on how to write a book proposal and how to pitch publishers, but you do have to register for an invite, so check below for that link. Bye! If you're excited about your book, I really hope that helped.